Tesla has 4 to 5 sub-businesses within the brand, each with the potential to exceed 1 trillion in valuation. Here's why I'm investing in 2024. So let's just cut to the chase. What is it about Tesla that I am so excited about? It's a myth that people think Tesla is just a car company. It is far from that, and I'm going to lay out the thesis now for anyone that isn't into Tesla or the stock market. Manufacturing. Check this out.
You've mentioned you've slept in the factory to be able to immediately diagnose problems and hands-on fix what's not right. What type of things happen that you can immediately fix or immediately take action on?
Actually, last 3 months last year, I mostly spent at Gigafactory trying to help fix the battery production. It's a module production, and it's a lot of little things, like looking at each little tiny part, each process. Say, is the process necessary? Because the best part is no part. Best part of the process is no process. If we have a automated bolt driver going in, what's the RPM and torque settings for the bolt driver? Can we make that go faster? Usually can. Unnecessary movements.
So it's a lot of minimizing things that can go wrong and maximizing the efficiency of the simple things that go right.
Elon is on record for saying Tesla's manufacturing advantage is the secret sauce to keeping it well and above the competition. In fact, he's well known for his completely obsessive attention to detail. Full self-driving, or FSD, and autonomous. FSD is the Pandora's box of transport and travel for the next generation, the next iteration of transport for the world.
Let's just even say the bear case. What assumptions are made about its business to get to that 1,400 by 27 number?
Well, about a third of our valuation is associated with electric vehicles, EVs, and scaling them. And as you mentioned, Turkey, a plant there, many countries do want a Tesla plant because this is the new world, right? So that's good. This is all working out. And then 2/3 of our valuation is around autonomous and autonomous taxi platforms. We think Tesla is in the pole position here in the United States. It has collected more data about our roads and actually other roads around the world than all of the other companies combined. And therefore it has more corner cases and probably will be the company that will get people from point A to point B as quickly and safely as possible.
Yeah, so you may not need to buy a car. Basically, we think incremental car buyers might forgo that decision, especially if you're located in an urban area. But it'll be a fleet model. So Tesla already has this partnership and integration with Hertz. In the future, you could imagine that Hertz could be a potential company that maybe houses and maintains these vehicles for customers. Ultimately, the reason that we think robotaxis are so exciting is because they could be priced below current ride-hail prices. That'll expand the market for ride-hail as we know it today. And we think this could be very profitable. So our estimate for our 2027 price target, which is published, is that we think gross margins could be around 50%. So that's north of the around 20% that we're seeing today, of course, and that's really driven by the autonomy business. We think this will be a services business model where they're charged per mile, and they'll get very attractive margins on that business.
Optimus. Now I know this seems really far-fetched and fanciful for a lot of the viewers out there, but bear with me, keep an open mind and look at this. Now, the same software that is in the FSD Tesla vehicles is exactly the same software that's going to be implanted into Optimus Bot. I mean, did you see the rate of progress? Simply put, and do your own research on this, Morgan Stanley have shown that the global labour market today is around $35 trillion. And really, that is constrained by what? The physical labour market, how many people we have to go to work today that aren't off sick or aren't on strike. You know, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Now, it's not a case of if robots replace humans. That is absolutely a given. That is happening. And most roles out there, particularly manual labour, are absolutely at risk. This is a fact. So the global labour market could therefore double, triple, who knows? And don't forget, there's also a space industry that's going to need resourcing. Okay, so what you're looking at is a graph or a chart of world GDP over the last 2 millennia. And as you can see, really it's not until about the year 2000, year 2010 that the economy really starts to rocket. And that is a blip compared to the speed that the economy is going to take off when we have roboticization and automation in the world. So what effect is the space economy going to have on the global economy on Earth? Well, we may not need a carbon copy of everything we have here on Earth, but we'll certainly need materials that will need to go to space stations, to Mars, and other extra planetary orbits in the future. Well after my lifetime, I admit, but nonetheless, there's only one company poised to take complete advantage of this opportunity.
I can guarantee you that there's nothing on the assembly line that a man could do that this thing couldn't do. And that's no bullshit. And that comes straight from, like you talked about cogs and I don't know. Well, I do know this, it'll do anything if it's the same as what I saw.
Crazy. Now, there are a few on Wall Street that are bullish on Tesla, namely Dan Ives and Cathie Wood. And Dan Ives really believes that Tesla right now is about to have its iPhone moment. You remember that moment, years ago when Steve Jobs launched the iPhone? I don't know if there's too much acclaim there, but we can check it out now. Let's look at the launch.
What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been and super easy to use. And we are calling it iPhone. But what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen.
If I could turn back the hands of time, I would absolutely invest in Apple stock just before the iPhone was launched. But I can't do that, and neither can you. But what we can do is we can learn from those leaps in innovation that Apple took, taking buttons off phones, and now it's become ubiquitous. Can you even think of a phone that has physical buttons on it? No. So now we are at a stage where Tesla has now revolutionized the automotive market, and that's just vehicles, and we're not touching on the other things that I've just mentioned there. So we're now at the beginning of another moment, another step change in innovation, and now you can invest, and that's why I'm all in 2024 in Tesla. And finally, we have Megapack. Now, it's quite unsexy, yeah, I know that, but the returns on Megapack are simply astounding. Each Megapack has got a capacity of 3.9 megawatts, and in English that can power over 3,600 homes per hour. They're 90% efficient, and they come with a 20-year warranty. And this is the important part. They're infinitely scalable. Let me say that again. They are infinitely scalable. They cost $2 million each, and they've already started to be deployed around the world. You can see from the example here that Angleton in Texas, the Gambit plant, has got 81 units. That cost $162 million. You've got the Soldonta, Alaska plant, and that's got 37 units, and that cost $74 million. And then Victoria, Australia, huge plant there with 212 units at a cost of $424 million. Now this is fantastic for Tesla because this is really cheap. This is just loads of batteries in a big pack, and it's all powered by AI and Tesla software. Total vertical integration, and that's the secret to Apple's success, and they're knocking on the door of a $4 trillion valuation. Tesla will dwarf Apple. That is an absolute fact. This is a mindset change. The world is moving away from fossil fuels. Yes, absolutely, the emerging nations will remain reliant on fossil fuels. That's just the way it is. But the Western world, as developed as it is moving away. not just for global economic reasons, but also for political reasons. At the minute, we've got a huge heavy reliance on the Middle East and Russia for natural gases and fossil fuels, and what we need to be doing is getting away from that, decarbonising, so we've got all of our own energy, whether it be offshore wind and or solar. And there is one company poised to take advantage of this seismic change in energy demand for the world. Now, coupled with Megapack is also Tesla Solar, we've alluded to. Tesla's already started to deploy solar panels on the roofs of homes all across America, and we already know that Tesla are building their own battery plant and are pioneering the next generation of batteries in their 4680 cells. I think, it's reported that Tesla's going to generate about $800 million per year in revenue from its Megapack and solar business. And just for reference, the market cap of BP is $81 billion. The market cap of Royal Dutch Shell is 168 billion, but this is the big one. The largest fossil fuel supplier on the planet today is Saudi Aramco, and their market cap is 8 trillion. That's right, 8 trillion. And that requires drilling, dirty, dangerous work, putting humans at risk. Tesla's resource is the sun. It's an absolute no-brainer. And just a few additions to the Tesla party. So you've got its Autobidder software, which is basically energy arbitrage. Now, arbitrage is the simultaneous purchase and sale of a commodity, and in Tesla's case, it's going to be energy. Now, picture this. Tesla will deploy their solar panels across the United States or across the UK or anywhere in Europe, whichever country. And through its integrated software that's been trained by Dojo, and I'll get onto that in a second, Tesla will take the energy from your battery in a decentralized power station effectively. This is in agreement with you, of course, and it will sell the energy it takes from you that you've harvested from the sun into your Tesla battery pack. And it will sell that on the open market back to the grid for a higher price, and it will split the costs or split the profits with you. I don't know what it is, but we could speculate and say 50-50. So you're literally making money for doing nothing just because you've got Tesla solar on your roof and a battery pack on your wall. Oh, and the Tesla on your drive is now being powered by that same solar energy you've just got for free. So you're living in a completely free economy. Oh, and you remember FSD we spoke about earlier? Well, you'll also be earning money off your Tesla when it's not being driven by you, because you'll be able to flick a switch in the car and the car will go off like an Uber in ride hail and will be out earning you money when you're not using the car, obviously if you opted into that. Now, I alluded to Dojo earlier. I don't know a great deal about this. This is probably a way above my sort of technical understanding, but I understand the fundamental principles of it. Now, the Dojo super chip is what powers FSD and powers the Optimus Bot. You just saw a video of what Optimus Bot does, and Optimus will disrupt the global labour market, which again I alluded to is a $35 trillion opportunity. And at the minute, the stock market's raving about Nvidia's success over 2023, which I think has seen about a 200% gain in market cap. Well, listen, that's nothing compared to what Tesla's going to do over the next 5 years.
I think about it as a technology company that's providing services to their own company and to others that they can't possibly be matched by anyone else. They have data, technology, they make cars cheaper than anyone else. When Ford makes one of these cars, an electric car, every car they make, they lose $36,000 on. $36,000 per car. Our company now makes about $8,000 or $9,000 in profit a car. They were making $15,000 in profit a car. In the 1900s, early 1900s, the automobile companies were tremendous innovators. No longer is the case. In the 1950s, they decided they were going to go for profitability, and they outsourced all of their supply chain to their detriment. And all these companies went bankrupt. Hundreds of them went bankrupt. And now the way we're going is that their electric cars, they drive, I guess they have about 30 miles a day, 30 or 40 miles a day, and they have 3 million of them that are collecting data. 100 million miles a day they're getting for data, and then they're also getting compute that they're going to have more compute than anyone in the world in 18 months to train it.
Yeah, so, you may not need to buy a car. Basically, we think incremental car buyers might forgo that decision, especially if you're located in an urban area. But, it'll be a fleet model. So Tesla already has this partnership and integration with Hertz. They talked a little about that in the letter, some of the, app integration that they're doing this quarter. But I think in the future, you could imagine that Hertz could be a potential company that maybe, houses and maintains these vehicles for customers. Ultimately, the reason that we think robotaxis are so exciting is because ultimately they could be priced below current ride-hail prices. That'll expand the market for ride-hail as we know it today. And we think this could be very profitable. So our estimate for our 2027 price target, which is published, is that we think gross margins could be around 50%. So that's north of the around 20% that we're seeing today, of course, and that's really driven by the autonomy business. We think this will be a services business model where they're charged per mile, and they'll get very attractive margins on that business.
Okay. We actually delay ours by 1 year relative to Elon, so maybe it should be 2 years. But here's where we've learned how important Tesla's proprietary data is. It's 5 million robots around the world. Cruise didn't have anything like that. It had hundreds. 5 million robots around the world collect data every day and send it back to Tesla. Tesla has more corner cases, which means disengagements, accidents, information like that, than all the other companies in the world combined. And I have to tell you, watching the breakthroughs in AI that we are seeing, they are astounding, the speed at which this is moving. Right. So it is interesting. I think it's a data issue. Autonomous taxi platforms are the biggest AI project in the world, and therefore we think Tesla is the
but
biggest
you've sold Tesla shares, and it's it used to be the #1 holding, I believe, in your
And so to answer the question, we sold as it was up 150% relative to everything else. We have not sold much since then. And it will, if we're right on this autonomous taxi opportunity, it will remain in the top 5 in our fund, in our flagship.
Okay, so we need to come to the end now. Technically not part of Tesla, but really a worthy mention. You've also got X. I'm not going to say the former company name. We need to move on from that. We've got XAI, and we've got SpaceX. Now, the reason why I mention these is because Elon alluded to, when he was buying Twitter, now named X, of course, that Tesla shareholders wouldn't lose out from this purchase. Now, how that's going to play out is anybody's guess. I have no idea, but it sounds good. And if I could buy into X right now, I absolutely would, because unbelievably, even though Elon paid $44 billion for the company, it's only worth circa $20 billion today, which is ludicrous. Now, I also mentioned XAI. I absolutely believe we're going to see XAI implanted into Tesla's Optimus Bot and also the Tesla cars themselves, which is fantastic. And then finally, SpaceX. And the reason why I mentioned SpaceX is because Tesla is well known, and if you haven't read it, read it now. It's the Walter Isaacson bio on Elon Musk. Tesla is well known for swapping and changing engineers from Tesla to SpaceX. And the reason why that's good is because it means space technology is going into cars and manufacturing excellence is going into building rockets. So they're completely interchangeable, and Tesla, the company, benefits from space technology. I don't see any legacy automotive manufacturers with space programs. Now, none of this is guaranteed, of course. There are risks in every single investment you make. There are risks in walking outside of your front door right now. But the direction of travel is absolutely clear. We are now going forward. The economy is changing. We've gone through a lull post-COVID, and we're getting out of the back of that. The economy around the world has dipped, yes, and it will continue to dip throughout 2024. But that's the opportunity to buy. When economies are low, stock prices are low, because 2025, 26, 27 and beyond, Tesla shares will simply be unaffordable. And with that, peace. If you enjoyed this content today, leave a thumbs up, that'd be absolutely fantastic, and don't forget to subscribe, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want me to do some more Tesla content, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to do some more research and get back to you with my perspectives on what I see Tesla doing now and going forward into the future. Thanks very much.